Today we're talking about the Clayton Two-Hand Random Orbital Sanders. These tools are available in a 5-inch, a 6-inch, and an 8-inch version. The principles of operation are the same for all three, so for the purpose of this video, we'll focus on the 6. Let's start by identifying the components of the tool. You have your ventilated backup pad, the shroud, the motor housing, the throttle control lever, speed control, your compressed air inlet, your swivel vacuum connection, and on either side of the motor housing are mounting points for accessories. Each tool comes with a tool hanger and a right angle handle. While these are not required for operation, they may make the sander easier to use and store. To mount the accessories, remove the hole plugs from the mounting points on the motor housing using a T20 Torx driver. The accessories include 2 black spacers. Place a spacer over one hole plug and thread it back into the mounting point. This will secure one side of the tool hanger. Next, place the other spacer over the threaded stud of the handle and screw it into the other side of the housing, securing the tool hanger in place. Next, attach a protector pad to the sander. The protector pad is a sacrificial disc which will help prolong the life of the backup pad. To attach, identify the index marks at the top of the protector pad and at the top of the backup pad. Line up the index marks and press the protector pad down firmly. Next, choose the correct grit abrasive for the work you'll be doing. Center the disc over the protector pad and press gently to attach. Before sanding, you'll want to lubricate the sander. With an appropriate air tool oil, place several drops directly into the air inlet. Next, connect your vacuum hose by threading it onto the swivel exhaust. Note that the hose threads counterclockwise. Then connect your compressed air line. Power on your vacuum, and the tool is ready for use. Always start the tool with the sander flat against the work surface. Sand with even pressure and let the sander do the work. You can adjust the speed of the tool during sanding by varying the speed control lever. When finished sanding, always lift the sander from the surface before releasing the throttle. When the backup pad becomes worn or if it's damaged, it can be easily replaced. To replace the pad, slide the wrench supplied with the sander between the shroud and the backup pad until you feel it lock onto the nut. Holding the wrench tightly, turn the backup pad counterclockwise, then remove it from the tool. Center the new backup pad over the spindle and thread it on clockwise until it's tight. Remove the wrench and the pad change is complete. After changing the backup pad, it's always a good idea to replace the protector pad also. Changing the backup pad on the 8-inch requires different steps than with the 5 or the 6-inch sanders. First, you'll need to open up the access port on the top of the shroud. Looking inside, you'll see the 8 screws that need to be removed in order to detach the pad from the sander. Using a 3mm Allen wrench, carefully remove each screw, then rotate the pad to get access to the next screw. Removing the last of the 8 screws will allow you to detach the pad and the tool from each other. Attach your new pad by lining up the screw holes on the pad with the screw holes on the tool. You may have to rotate the pad slightly to seat it in place correctly. When it's positioned correctly, you'll feel it lock into place. Now turn the sander over and replace each screw through the access port in the shroud. Tighten each one until the pad is secure. Be sure that you use all 8 of the screws when putting the tool back together. The Clayton two-handed sanders have been designed with an easily replaceable drop-in motor. To replace the motor, you'll need the pad wrench that came with the sander and the T6 lock ring wrench. To begin, slide the pad wrench in between the shroud and the backup pad until you feel it lock in place tightly with the nut. Grasp the pad and spin counterclockwise until it's removed. Next, with the lock ring wrench, line up the notches on the wrench with the lock ring at the base of the motor. Turn counterclockwise until it is loose. Then grasp the shaft balancer and gently pull the motor free from the sander housing. Identify the roll pin on the new motor and line it up with the index mark on the motor housing. Carefully insert the new motor into the housing, maintaining the alignment between the pin and the index mark. Use the lock ring wrench to tighten the new motor into place by turning clockwise. With the motor secure, use the pad wrench to stabilize the nut. Line up the threaded stud on the backup pad with the center of the nut and turn it clockwise until it is secured in place. Finally, attach a new protector pad so that the sander is ready for use. In addition to the drop-in motors, repair parts are available from Clayton and from our authorized distributors. Sanders can also be sent into Clayton for a fixed price factory overhaul and recertification. If you have questions about the operation of this tool or need technical support, please contact Clayton at 732-363-2100.